Well, hello everybody, it's Sharon here and welcome to another Essential Stencil live. If you are joining me on the replay of our live today, I'd love you to comment the word replay and you could go in to win some prizes within 24 hours after our live goes live. So let me know when you're tuning in, drop in where you're from. I don't know, what's the weather like? Are you crafting tonight? Let me know. Are you crafting tonight? Are you stenciling tonight? Over there in the USA. It's daytime here in Australia. As you can see, the sun's shining through the blinds behind me in the window. I've got my Christmas tree here, and probably some of you might notice this is our baby Jesus that I usually have in a little manger, but in our move we have lost it, so he's sleeping on the cradle on the little bench behind us. So hi guys, hi Dee and Elisa, Cindy's here. Welcome as everyone's jumping on. Just going to check out for my live over here on the laptop so that I can see all of your wonderful comments, because sometimes I don't see them there. Here we are. So let me know how you're going today, and I can see a bunch of comments coming through there. I nearly hugged my postman this morning, okay? So I was tracking my Christmas bundle order. Who's got their Christmas bundle already? Well, how many know that it's a long way from Australia, from the USA to Australia? And so I was waiting patiently for my Christmas bundle to arrive, thinking, oh, well, it might not be till next week's live. And then I happened to notice the tracking yesterday said it was in my capital city. And so it was out for delivery. It could be within the next day, it could be the day after. So I wasn't sure. So I put a little post-it note on my front door to let the mailman know, please do not take this back to the post office and leave a card in my letterbox. You know how sometimes they do that? So I had this note on the door, please knock loudly. I need this package today because I really wanted my stencils for our live today. And guess what? He knocked really loudly about an hour ago. So I've only just unboxed all of my Christmas stencils literally an hour before our live, and I was so excited when I saw the postman come, and yes, he left the package. He didn't leave a card to say go and collect them from the post office, so that was funny. He had a chuckle at my note on the front door. All right, so let me see. I want to show you some of the stencils that came in the big bundle. Now, if you missed out on the bundle, there are still so many other, the bundle offer has finished, but all of the stencils are available there. Some are out of stock, but they will be, I've been promised, they'll be back in stock at the end of next week. So there's that to look forward to. If you see some of the brand new stencils that I'm showing you today and you're like, that's out of stock, don't worry, it's coming back. So don't forget to use my code, I Restore Stuff, and you can get 10% off any of the stencils that we are showing today, or anything actually in the whole store. Hi guys, hi Diane, Judy's here, Sue, awesome, all from all over. All right, so there are a bunch of mini sets. Now these are the little 6x6 stencils. So if you want to see these in closer, you can see them on the website, but this is a Santa baby set. There's some fun ones in that. There's a White Christmas mini set. Some fun stencils, I tell you. Oh, I'll show you about that one in a minute because I'll be using that one today. There's the gnome set. I think a couple of these might be out of stock currently, but don't worry, they'll be back in stock at the end of next week. Some really nice porch leaner signs. So we've got the Walking in a Winter Wonderland set, which is going to be great. And I've actually done a chalkboard, like a black chalkboard porch sign leaner, and I want to use one of these in one of my next lives. I'm going to try and do a leaner. Tis the season. There's that one there. This one is going to be amazing. If you only want one porch leaner, this could be it because of this factor. Now let's see. It's called Be Merry, but I don't know if you can see the buffalo check in the background. Guys, it not only has the buffalo check that you can put in the background, but it also has the sort of the plaid stripes. I'm not sure if you can see that here. Where are this? this little plaid stripe thing that you can put over the top of the buffalo check. So I'd love to have a go at that. But not only that, you can use this on other backgrounds for all of your boards. So that is going to be really fun to have. So don't forget to grab this one using my code, I Restore Stuff, get you 10% off. So that's some porch leaners. And then of course we've got the transfers, and I'll be showing you how to transfer today. So if you're unfamiliar with using transfers, we'll be doing that. This one, cute poinsettia. Did you know that in Australia we call it poinsettia? We have the IA at the end that we say, the TIA, poinsettia. So I have to stop myself and think, I'm talking to my US friends and you call them poinsettias. I think that's how you say it. Okay, so, oh, it is spelt. See, it's spelt poinsettia. It is with an IA at the end. Poinsettia and the candy cane. There you go. I'm going to call it poinsettia, but I know most of you call it poinsettia. All right, beautiful red flowers that come out in Christmas time over there. Of course, it's summer here. We don't see as many over here in the summertime, those beautiful flowers. This is a gorgeous 2-pack set, and the soul felt its worth. Don't you just feel like singing when you see these words? Singing the traditional good old Christmas carols. Now these are a couple of my favorite sets because I just love the vintage looks of them, the vintage vibe that you can get. I know Amanda showed one of these, which was at the St. Nicholas Bed and Breakfast on her live this week. So if you missed that one, go catch that. She made it all vintage and aged looking using her fun stains that she likes to use. So that was really great. Now we've got this one as well. This is called Joyful. Now, if you notice in their example that they've got here, they've used some of the, see they've got the backgrounds there. Can you imagine these little leaves and all sorts of things could be used? Is that pine cones? Oh, wow. Yay. So these could be used for all sorts of backgrounds. You could use some of these branches and leaves for things that maybe aren't necessarily Christmassy. So that's a really fun idea. Here's how they've used it right here. But I'm also imagining this one could be used really nicely with some of the transfer images that we'll be looking at in a minute. But some of the transfers could be sat in those letters also, don't you think? I think that would be a great idea. Oh yeah, Rhonda said that she bought the Be Merry just for the background. I know, that plaid and the buffalo check, it's going to be great. Kerry Green from Toowoomba, Queensland. You're practically my neighbour. Thank you so much for joining the live today. Unfortunately, we can't get these stencils here in Australia just yet. The old pandemic thing and shipping and issues caused some issues with international shipping. But everyone in the USA is able to get them. I do know of Australians who actually have Australia Post has like a US postal service that you can actually get things shipped within the US to your USA postal box, then they ship it to Australia. There's that. If you need to know about that, if you're from Australia, let me know. But it's on the Australia Post website. Oh, Barbara's waiting for her Christmas transfers. I'm just checking out comments over here as well as some come up here, but some don't. Now this looks amazing as well. So we've got a blank Christmas tree and then all of the little things that you will need to decorate your tree. So that could be some fun right there also. So that's going to be great. Thank you everyone who's just joining in today. If you're just joining for the first time, let us know that you've never watched an Essential Stencil live before, or let us know that you're new to stenciling. We love to know that. Did you know we give away prizes here on all of our lives? So don't go anywhere because right at the end we'll draw 3 lucky winners for a prize, Essential Stencil prize. Who knows what you might get, but they do love to be generous and really, oh, someone's talking about the pronunciation that I was talking about before with the, oh, I can't go back now. Poinsettia. This one has lovely poinsettias on it. That's how, I'm just going to say it. That's how we say it in Australia, poinsettias. Okay. Gorgeous transfers here. There's a 2-pack set in each transfer, and so I'll be opening one of these today, but lovely rub-on transfers that you can use in conjunction with your stencils, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that today. And as is often the case with me, I haven't practiced with these ones because I was saying before, I only just got these delivered an hour ago. So I did a mad scramble I did have a feeling yesterday that they might come, so I kind of got prepared. Now what I've done is I've painted up these two small, they're only fairly small boards. They were they have these hanging hole hook areas on them. They actually came from one of our local craft stores over here in Australia called Kaiser. I don't know if you guys have that over there in the States, but you can probably get these kind of signs. Now, to be honest, they actually had words on them and they had a little design on them, but they were going on sale for like 4 for $20, which over here, that's pretty good. So $5 for each of these signs, and I thought I probably couldn't buy blank signs like this for that over here. So $5 each. I thought I'm going to buy those and paint over the little signs they had and use them for my wonderful stencils, because Essential Stencils designs were a little bit better than what they had on these existing. I'll show you another couple that I'll probably use for another live at some time. These ones didn't have words on them, but they have images on the background. So they have these gorgeous palm leaves. So I thought that I could use that and put words over these as a stencil sometime. So I'll save those for another live sometime. But just goes to show that sometimes you might see something, a sign, an existing sign for a really good deal. And you know, I know that there's issues with the prices of wood and timber. So I thought this was pretty good. It's already got a pre-drilled hole for the hook in there. So I've painted these. Someone just mentioned, is that a baby I see in the background? It's not a real baby, it's a doll. And it's actually my baby Jesus who used to sit in a manger under the tree. But I've lost the wooden manger somewhere in our packing, in our moving. So baby Jesus is on the park bench. Baby Jesus is comfortably wrapped in swaddling clothes, and this bench is his manger at the moment. So there you go. Someone else is waiting for their delivery. That's exciting. So here we go. I'm going to make sure I've got these up the correct way with the hook at the back. Don't want to do my stenciling upside down. So I've painted one in a red color. This is a deep cranberry red. It's using Fusion Mineral Paint, which is a paint. I am a retailer for a few different furniture paint brands here in Australia. You can get Fusion Mineral Paint in the USA. If you don't have a local retailer, you can get it from my Amazon affiliate link, when I'm happy to pop that into the comments if you just let me know that you want that link. It's a gorgeous red. I like the color of it. It's a really nice wintry vintage red. Okay, so today for this set I'm going to be using this one. It's called Holly Jolly, and then I'll use the transfers on my other blank wood in just a minute. That is the set there. It's a 6-pack set, and I'll go through what's in them. So there's these fun Christmas lights. There's Merry and Bright with some little snowflakes, or you could use them as bright stars on there. Let me go through what else is in the set. I'll use this black as a background. Candy Cane Lane. Can you imagine? That would look really cute with all of the red and white, wouldn't it? And there's Holly Jolly. The next one we've got is Fa La 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 with some little sprinkly snowflakes on there. So that's also, these are all 6 are in this set. So you can get these off the website. The link is actually in the description of our live, and then you've got this holly and berries right there. So out of this set today, what I'm going to put on my board, and I'll point you down now so that we can work on this. Oops, I nearly tipped my tripod over. So we can work on this together. Who's crafting tonight? I didn't see who was doing what. Let me see. Diane's asking what time it is in Australia. It is 11. Well, it's 11:15 now. 11 on Thursday morning. So I'm going to do the Merry and Bright. Now this board, the stencils are 6 by 6 inches. This board is slightly larger, and I did bring my measuring tape that I can show you exactly how big it is. This one is 8, almost, well, it's 8.5 inches square. And so we're going to use the Merry and Bright, and then I'm going to show you how you can use these Christmas lights, you could use that. You could use them on a smaller board as a background and then put words over them. But I'm going to use them today as a decoration in the corner of my stencil. But first I'm going to put my words on. I may not use this one because that might go over the top of my words. Let's see. Because I'm going to do them the same color, it might still work. So I'll show you how to do that. Let's put our words on first, and I'm going to be using a white. Now this is another Fusion Mineral Paint color casement, and always shake my paint, or you can roll it or tip it. The stencil brushes, I've got some Essential Stencil brushes here, and they come in a pack of 4 and of differing sizes. Where are they? So there we go. There's the 4, and you can also use my code iRestoreStuff for those and get 10% off anything in the Essential Stencil store. So we could use some tape to tape that down, but because I'm just going to hold that down, I see people were asking for my Amazon link. I'll just quickly copy and paste that into the comments there. I'm not sure if you'll see that, but let's go with that. But if you have put that in comments that you want that link, I can go in later and let you know what that is. All right. Oh, Sherry says no crafting tonight. Yes, so the lights will look great as a border. All right, I've dipped my brush in the paint. I'll show you sort of how much paint I've got on there. I could probably actually wipe some of that off on the edge of my board. Sometimes when I do that though, it flicks the paint everywhere. I didn't want to get white paint on my my red board. So I'm going to offload that on my piece of cardboard here. I'm just using, as you can see, they're moving boxes. I've just opened a moving box, put it flat in cardboard on our dining table. You could do that with your craft tables. What size do you find that you use the most? Are you talking about the brushes maybe? This one's a 1/2 inch, but I tend to use the smaller brushes for the smaller letters, and then the wider brushes, the really large brushes, for larger spaces on your stenciling. So I've just eyeballed that. If you want to get your measuring tape out to measure and see if you've got it in the center, you could do that too. But let's go. Now, I've got to be careful. I will be careful that I don't get this on the edge when I'm doing these, what do you call them? The little dots, snowflakes, I guess they are, out the side. So I want to make sure I'm not going to get that. And I'm just sort of pouncing the brush on those little snowflakes. But I generally tend to swirl my brush when I'm stenciling. If you've seen any of our other lives, you'll see that some of the ambassadors will do their stencil brushing a little bit differently, different ways. We all have our favorite ways of doing it. I encourage you to just try all the different ways and do what works best for you and what you feel most comfortable doing, and also what gives you the best results. So I always encourage people to practice on a piece of cardboard or a piece of paper before you stencil on your good board. Yolanda's just finished up some angel ornaments. Oh, that's great. Oh wow, yeah, there's lots of comments flying past. I'm not catching them all. But I do love to go back and answer any questions after our lives. So if you did have some questions, let me know, and I'll see if I can catch some of those as we go. All right, so I'm just adding a little bit more to my brush. It's always better to have less on your brush rather than more, because if you have more and it bleeds under, it's a little bit harder to remove that. But when you have less on your brush and you find that it's not enough, you can always go back and add more. Kind of like a haircut, right? You know, once you've cut to a certain length, you can't add it back on once it's gone. You can't fix that. But don't be discouraged if you do make a really big, super big boo-boo. It's just paint. We can start again. You can sand it back. It's okay. What keeps the stencil from sliding around, Barbara says? Well, my hand at the moment is what's holding it down, because I've got my fingers on the edges here. But you can use painter's tape. I've got some painter's tape right here, and I might use that for other things in a minute if I need to. For example, if I get too close to the edge, I want to put some painter's tape right near that edge so that we don't get it on the red. So this white is going to look really nice standing out against that red. I posted my Amazon link on there, but it may have got lost in the comments. So if you do want that link for the Fusion paint, let me know and I'll put it in there again. Oh, thank you. Essential Stencil has put that link in there for me again. All right, so this one is the set that is called Holly Jolly. And when you think that you've got enough coverage there on your words, then you can lift it up. But the way that we don't get bleeding underneath and little fuzzy edges is by using much less on your brush. So just if you're still getting bleeding underneath, you'll need to be rubbing that brush off a lot more. Okay, so here's our Merry and Bright standing out nice and brightly against the red background. That looks amazing. And so we'll pop that aside, ready to wash that off later. And the other thing was so in this set, you'll also find these little Christmas lights. So we're going to use it for a border on this stencil. So you can see right here that if I hold this up, I'm going to see that one, this light string will go off this edge and this light string will go off this edge up here. So then it creates a bit of a border. But what we don't want is, we don't want to accidentally go over. You could do these lights in colors as well. You could do some bright green lights. Green may not stand out as well against the red, so I'm going to simply do them white, and that'll stand out just as nicely. Okay, so I'm just popping that down gently there. Again, dipping my brush and offloading the white onto here. And I'm holding that down again. We're just going with this string of lights and it's going to go off the edge of our board. You can imagine you could use this little string of lights for a number of the different Christmas or festive or holiday stencils that we have in the range. Not just the minis, but you could use this for decorating the top corner of your porch leaners, the porch board signs that you make. So I know we have a lot of crafters who are in our Stencil of the Month Club. And speaking of that, if you're not in the Stencil of the Month Club, you may not have seen, but for those club people, did you see the bundles they've got that are exclusive for the club? And there's some stencils in there I just noticed in the Stencil of the Month Club. Even if you're not in the Stencil of the Month Club, if you just go to stencilofthemonthclub.com, you'll be able to see some of the extra special stencils that you get if you're a club member. But Melissa, our ambassador Melissa, has designed the December stencil, or is it November? December stencil of the month, and it is so cute. A gorgeous design that you can change a barn into you can make it a barn or a church, and it's got all the different, pieces that elements that you can add to that to make it one or the other. It is so cute, as well as a bunch of fun, beautiful sayings. So that's something you can look forward to. So there you go. I've got see the edge right there, the lights, and I like the way that merry and bright lights. Okay, so I was thinking of just doing this again down the bottom, but I think that I might just go ahead. It'll possibly run into the words. I'll see how it looks. You could probably plan this out a little better and do your arranging of your stencils a little bit differently and make yours fit better. But because I've got this size board, if you had a bigger board, you could probably do a little bit more with the edges of it. Let's see if this, that's going to go way too far over there. I probably should have done the longer one up here. It doesn't matter, it's still going to run into it, isn't it? So I was thinking of doing something like this, but then it's going to run into my words. I wonder if that matters. Oh, well, this bulb, I don't want that bulb too close to there. So for right now, I think, oh, hang on, we could just make it come off the side. Trying to get it so that, oh, we could move that across. So see that string here? The string doesn't necessarily have to finish at the edge of the board. You could make it finish, or I could even cut off one light bulb, you know, and make it, you know, like this. So we could do that, make a string of lights coming off the edge there. So you could make your string of lights shorter by making the finish here and taping this off, so then it just comes across here and then we just get a little bit. So I'm trying to arrange it here. As those of you who joined me early on know, I only got my stencils like an hour before our live. Otherwise, you could just put another one of these down on the bottom right here and make that go off. So we could, let's have a little play. Because I don't mind if there's some string going over the words, but I think the bulbs will take away a little bit from the words. So let me have a think about this. Maybe we'll go like so. I reckon that will work. So what I need to do is I just need to tape off this loop that's coming on here, coming on the edge of my board, and then the rest of it will go off the edge here. So the string will go over the end of the T, but that's okay. I think it'll create a lovely effect. So see how you can play around with your stencils to sort of just get it working to where you want it. Oh, thank you guys. You are so helpful to each other in the comments when I can't see everything. Yes, Peggy said you can use the same side as I did on the top. Yeah, but I was just trying to use this bottom one just for fun. I want to use all my stencils. Yeah, you can. Oh, it's getting very close to that other one. I should have taped that off there, but never mind. We've got it going now. And there it goes off the edge. I'm sort of pouncing this one because I feel like I had a little bit too much on my brush. I hope I'm not going to get some furry edges under that. I should have wiped it off a little bit more. Yes, they would. These lights would look great on porch board signs. Okay, so see how it comes across the bright down the bottom? You might like that, you might not. But again, like I said before, you could use this same top design and just put it along the bottom too. But there we've got merry and bright on this board. And now I'm going to show you some transfers. So if you've never done transfers before, it is so much fun and really quite easy to do. So that's set there. Don't forget, use my code I Restore Stuff and you'll get 10% off anything in the Essential Stencil shop. That was the Holly Jolly 6-pack set that has those in it and more. So with your stencil, while we're waiting, I'll just pop the lid back on here and pop my brush in a wet cloth so that it doesn't dry out. Oops. Now my other board that I have going here is the one that we're going to do there we go, I'll put that down the bottom there so you can see. And this one, I'm going to also use something from the Holly Jolly stencil set, but after I've got the transfer on, okay? I may use something from another set too. So the transfer set that I'm using today is this one, and it's called, oop, we don't have the name on there. I did have the name in the description. I think it is, oh, it's the Wintertime Elements, okay? So these come with two transfers in the set. You can see the pages of transfers there. Now these ones, see they've got some great examples right there on the back of your transfers. And they also have a QR code. Did you catch that, guys? So if you do hold your camera on your phone up to the QR code, it will take you to a video that you can watch how to use these transfers. All right, so the one I'm going to use today is this one here, and I'm going to start cutting out as I chat to you and as I try and get the comments going, so I can. And they also come with a little tool to help you rub on. You could use a credit card or something like that, but this is quite nifty because it is easier to use with your hand. So there's that. Now I'm going to use these sticks, and then so on one of them, so you can see they've got a little cardinal here and some winter things, and some of the other transfer sets, if you don't want to piece yours together like I'm going to show you today, there's this set here that already has some wooden branches and a cardinal and the flowers on them, floral emblems. But there's so many things on here that you could use to piece your own arrangement together. So let's see what we can come up with today. So just cutting around the transfer that you're going to be using. Got little leaves in there. Be careful to cut around those. I don't want the berries on this part. I'm just cutting out those branches. How many have actually used the transfers so far? I know sometimes people get afraid to just go for it and use things right away. I'm going to try and put these branches up a little bit higher, because what I want to do will fit the words of the stencil in here, but I also want to add some elements. So for example, these berries, you could add this on. We might use that for something else. You can add some berries. We're going to just layer it a little bit. What else could we add here? What about this little thing? So, is that pine? I'm not sure what that is. It's some kind of fir tree or evergreen or pine or something. Some of you might know what that is. I don't think I've seen these branches in Australia, but they're very wintry looking. Maybe because we don't get cold weather here where I am. We could add a bit of greenery. Look at these little leaves here that you can add and rub those on. So we could add a bit of leaf foliage. I feel like a florist whenever I do these little arrangements, which I totally am not, and I'm just really winging it. You could even add a whole bunch of the holly berry leaves. So we'll have a little look at this and see if we can arrange our and we've got all of these. Even if you've got one set of these transfers, look at all of the things you've got to choose from. Actually, some of these white flowers look pretty too. Oh, I think I'm going to add more flowers. What have I got here so far? Yeah, I think I need another flower to match in with this red. So this rose looks pretty, and the white. So the painted background I've painted in one of the new Fusion Mineral Paint colours. I think it's cashmere, something like that. I'll have to cut our flowers out a little bit more. Yes, yeah, I can't see, Diane's asking, I wondered how you could see through it to place it on your board, to arrange it. I can't really see through the white paper, but once I take that white paper off, it sticks down and there's no going back. And so I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is just try placing as best I can using, here's my berries. See, now I think I've got too much. So I could start layering and then see how I go. If I want to add something else, I could add something else. Maybe these berries are a little much. Let's just start with one thing. See how we go. And because you're layering, you want to use the things, imagining, if this was a floral bouquet, for example, imagining what you would put behind. So obviously the sticks are going to be the back. So then you would probably put something that's a little bit more, you want the berries a little bit more forward and in the front. And I'm going to see how far I can get those down. Then you can start placing sort of you know, you might have this berry coming out to this side. That might be behind this branch. So it's a little bit of like playing around with it and experimenting, see how you go. First of all, we'll get the wood wreath looking thing on, and then we're going to add some stencil words in a minute. So what I want to do is think about where I want it. I want to place it a little bit up so I can add things going down into this space in here. So sorry if I'm missing some of your comments, but yeah, they're gorgeous watercolor type of transfers, aren't they? Okay, so what we're doing is removing our white backing, and the transfer has the sticky side on it. So you want to be careful, because once you put it down, there's no going back. So I want to get it right. I'll have to stand up to do this. Am I shaking? I feel like I'm shaking. Okay, I reckon that's around about right. Let's go with it. Okay, now that I've got it down, I'm going to rub it down with my fingers, and so that transfer is going to start to stick, but to make sure it's fully stuck down, we're going to go over it with our rub-on tool. Let me see how we're going. Oh, perfect. Now that has a little bit that's still stuck on there, making sure you can see that. So there's still a plastic coating on the top here that we're rubbing the transfer on through that plastic, and once we have got that down, we start to lift the plastic up, making sure that every little bit is down. Now sometimes you can sort of still see a little bit of the edges as you lift this off, and so then you would just gently rub it down with your fingers. They do have a very, very fine edge around them that sometimes you can see that coming up. Oh, here we go. It should lift fairly easily. So if it's not lifting easily and you start to see that transfer tear and stay on that plastic, just lay it back down and continue rubbing with your rubbing tool until the transfer is firmly in place. Good on you, Anne. She said she did 2 transfers today. Sunflower ones from the... Oh wow, you transferred them onto a battery operated candles. Came out great. That is amazing. I love it. Some of these would look great on candles. I have seen people do them on glass. Actually, I tried one on glass. I think I've got a video on my own page. So my page is I Restore Stuff. If you follow me over there, you'll be able to see a video where I did that. And I'm also on Instagram. I love to hang out in my stories on Instagram and show you tips and tricks for painting furniture, making signs and all kinds of things. Also got a Pinterest board, so a Pinterest account, I Restore Stuff there. I Restore Stuff on YouTube. All of the places, so would love to see you over there. Okay, as we lift, I'm just going to go ahead and lift that now. I think it's all down. Whoops, see that we can see, I don't know if you can see that. You can see there's a little bit of the transfer right here stuck to the plastic. That's what I'm talking about. So if you see that stuck to the plastic, just lay it back down and rub it exactly in that area until it's not stuck anymore and it all comes off. It just takes sometimes a little bit of patience, depending on the surface that you're putting it on. Some surfaces just require a little bit more patience. Oh, there we go. Oh no, it's come off and I lifted it right off the page, off the board without, I think I can place it in exactly the right spot. Let's see. There we go. No one will even know. And ta-da! So now I just go around with my fingers, make sure all of those edges are on nicely. That's that. And now you've got a lovely base for your wreath or whatever you want to make. So I want to put those holly berries somewhere that they're reaching down. It's got a stem here, so I kind of want them somewhere where it's going to... There we go. If we put that way, we could put these berries this way. Then I could add, we don't have to add all of this. We could just add a few things. I think this would look good behind the berries, so then I would have to put that on first. So let me add that. I'm going to put this right like that so I know which direction I want it to go. And then I'm going to lift my plastic backing off, the paper backing off. Okay. Rubbing this one on, so we're building it. Placing things behind and bringing things to the front that we would automatically think, oh yeah, that would look better at the front. So, not sure if I'll put those flowers on or not. Yeah, thanks. Christine says it's a good lesson on how to layer and arrange the transfers. Yeah, it really allows you to be really creative, and then together with the stencils and all the different stencil designs, you can see there's even greater option for all of your sign making. Oops. Make sure nothing comes off it. I haven't figured out the different surface types yet properly, but I do find that some will just automatically, you know, the transfer will come off really well and others not so well. So that's where we'll probably put the holly. I'll do these berries over here first. What could I put behind them? I think maybe some leaves might go nicely behind them. But so maybe some leaves around about there. I could do another leaf over here, or the rose could go with a leaf up here. In that case, it would probably go behind that. So many options. Okay, I'll go with this leaf over here next. So we're talking about layering. If you've missed the first part of our live, I went and showed you how to do this sign down here using one of the stencil sets, the new Christmas stencils. If you haven't had a look at those, go ahead and do that. There's some really great designs in there. And if it does say sold out, don't panic, because they will be coming back in stock end of next week, I was told. So okay, so I'm actually transferring on top of a transfer. So you can see that we've got the leaves on. So see how it's layer upon layer. So we're layering this. Now let's put these berries on here, making sure we've still got, leaving that nice room for the holly to come down here. Yep. And this to go, I'd say, around about here. Make sure we've got room for our words. I was going to put a, maybe I'll make the, let's see. Yep, we'll just do it. We'll make our words fit to wherever we want them to. Okay, so now some berries just coming. So see that it's sort of layering, and the berries are now on top of that leaf, but you can see through it in the background. So I love the way that this layers. And then we'll put that, lifting our plastic. Oh, got to get my nails under there. Don't forget, we've got prizes at the end, guys. So if you're new to Essential Stencil and you've not seen the transfers before, if you've never transferred or stenciled, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you and welcome you to our live experiences here. As you may or may not know, we've got lives every week here on the Essential Stencil Facebook page, every day of the week. So every weekday. That's probably how I should have said it. Every weekday. And so you would have seen a couple already this week. And what are we at? Wednesday. Ooh. So we've got berries over leaves. So these are all available on Essential Stencil's website, and you can use my code IRestoreStuff to get 10% off anything in the store, anything in the shop. There we go. All right, I'll lift that up so you can see how we've got now the wood stick, then we've got a leaf, and then we've got these berries all hidden behind the leaf. So here, see how that layers, and you can see through to the next layer, to the layer behind it. Okay, I'm going to add these holly berries now and see where we can go from there. We may need to add some leaves down next to them after we've done this. So we're taking this off. I wanted to add them leaning down this way, so we've got more space up the top, and we can see that that white little branch comes up there as well. You could add more of those white branches on another side. So many options, like we said. But we are layering upon layers. And sometimes I've noticed, just doing this today, that you just still have to be careful of these little sticky edges of the ones that are underneath this transfer that you're rubbing onto now. So you may find that if those little sticky, tiny little edge is sticky, it may come up with your plastic on the top transfer that you've been transferring onto. So let's see how we go here. I'll lift up from the bottom this time. And we've got our berries. That one's coming off a little bit more easily. Okay, so there we go. We've added another layer. So building, building, building. Oh, thank you guys. You're so lovely. Yeah, the layering is quite fun. So just getting all of those elements that you want in place. You can even start looking at some more. Think, what more could I add? Look, there's a bow down here. So we could add that bow, or a pine cone. A pine cone might be nice too. Let's just go for that. I think I'll grab this cone, and there's a ribbon that might look nice as well. And then we can add our stenciling words, I think. You just want to have that space nice and filled, not too overfilled, not too crowded. They've got some that are already pre-layered. So see this one, we've got sticks and cardinal and roses, whatever the flower is. Is it a rose? I don't even know. Already layered on there. So if you don't feel like being creative, you could just do that. So here's our pine cone and a little bow at the bottom. How about we just finish it off with that? I could add more later if I wanted to. So pine cone here. Oh, that one on well. That one was, oops, see, it's just stuck a little bit at the end there. Ooh, there we go. So just gently with your fingers, you can go over that, and I think we'll add the bow right here. I don't know. I'll see how it looks with the words on it, and then we might add something on at the end or not. There we go. Cute ribbon. So the ribbons are great because they would just go with anything. See, there's even, if you put all the sticks here, there's even this one right here that's already in a bunch together, so you wouldn't have to layer things. It's already in a bunch, it's got its bow, and you could just pop that simply right down the bottom. Or something like this, you know, layered on. It's already got a ribbon in there. So there's so many different options for layering and for adding onto your transfers. Okay, let's see how we go with this one. And here it comes. And we're done. Okay, so putting your fingers over the top just to make sure all those edges are down smoothly. So there we go, there's our transfers all layered. Maybe it's a bit busy, maybe you want yours a lot more simplified than that, but hey, just have a go. See where you want to place things. You can't take it away once it's on there, not easily, no, you can't take it away. So have a go at that. Now let's see if we can add our words onto it. I was going to add a Merry, and then now see I've got some white paint on there, so I don't know if that'll work if I do it green. I was going to add some green or maybe some red. Instead of Merry and Bright, I thought I'd do a Merry, and then from the White Christmas set I could use this one I think is out of stock at the moment, but back in stock next week. Add the word Christmas, we do a Merry and then Christmas. Okay, so to do that, I need to do a little bit of taping off with my painter's tape. So, we've got one already here, so I can add the Merry, add the tape to the bottom here. I do want to make sure I'm not going to get these snowflakes that are a little bit close there. So I'll tape that off, make sure we don't get those. We've got Merry. But I've probably put the word Christmas first so that I can have space it out to where it's all going to fit in there. Next, taping this off. If you missed the beginning of our live, I showed you this one, which is from the same set as the Merry Christmas right here. So we need that much to tape off this. This has got some snowflakes around it too, so see how we go, taping off the things around it. Taping off the snowflake, because I'm not going to do a snowflake on this one. Oh, and we've got a couple of little dots right there. I don't know if you can see those, but tiny weeny, these are probably snowflake dots. I just don't want to accidentally get those with my brush because it doesn't fit with the rest of what I wanted to do. So just tape those off there. So now we've got an area that'll fit perfectly, I think. So if you missed the beginning of the live, I was showing you how we stenciled with Fusion Mineral Paint here, encasement, and I'm just using that. Oh, I'm not doing this white, am I? No, I've got to do it a colour. So I've got a couple of different colours here. We could do that. The red of the bow is a little bit different to this cranberry red. It's more of a brighter red. So I've got Fusion Mineral Paint's Fort York red here. I might do it with that. Or there's this pressed fern green colour. Actually, the green will stand out probably brighter against the dark, the light, it's almost like an off-white grey background. So we'll do the Christmas words with the green. So I'm using our 5/8 inch brush, dipping it into the paint, and we either offload on the edge and then offload on my piece of cardboard right here. Sorry guys, I'm trying to keep up with comments, but you guys are so fast. Oh, that's awesome. I'm so glad for you all who are getting your sets and getting your stencils. All right, so I've got most of that offloaded on here, and that's so that it works in the bristles and it doesn't make it too full. Okay, so we've got Christmas, the word Christmas from this set, and I just need to confirm that my Merry is going to fit nicely above that. They're two different fonts, but yep, that's going to fit perfectly. So I've fit the Christmas in there. I'm holding it down with my hand, and we're going to, maybe I don't have enough paint on my brush. I offloaded too much, but see, that's better to have, see how it's a little bit sparse in there. So it's better to recognize that you don't have enough on, and then, I didn't tape it down, so that's why I'm having to wriggle it back into place. Better to have not enough and do a second coat, rather than having too much and risking the bleeding under the stencil. So let's have another go at this. We've got lots more on our brush now, and so we're getting a lot better coverage without, you could even do two different colours. You could do red Merry and a green Christmas. Let's try that. I might try that. So that's the colour Pressed Fern from Fusion Mineral Paint. It's just an acrylic based paint, so any craft paint will do for stenciling. It doesn't have to be anything special. So here's the word Christmas in that green. So I think that matches nicely. And let's have a go with this. You can either put your brush in a wet cloth. If you think you're going to do some more stenciling, you could put it in a plastic bag or a wet cloth. And let's have a go at using this. Yeah, Diane, you can use any craft paint. She's asking if you can use any paint or just the Fusion one. You can use any, yeah. So the colour red I'm using for this is Fort York red or the Pressed Fern green. So just anything that you know, whatever, if you've got paints on hand, just use the ones you've got on hand. No need to go out and buy special ones. Now I haven't wiped the red off here. I mean the white previously. I haven't had a chance to wash that. See how we go. Hope it doesn't turn it pink. I can always go over it later, so I'm not too worried. I can always just use the Merry. So this is from the set, which I can't find. I think it's called Ho Ho something. Here it is. Holly Jolly. It's not called Ho Ho at all, Sharon. Holly Jolly is the name of that 6-pack set that's got the Merry Christmas and so on. Okay, so offloading. Now this red, or you'll find that most reds, bright reds, because of the pigment content in there, you'll find that they'll be a little bit less, they'll be a bit translucent, so you'll be able to see through it a bit. So it sometimes will be a case of having to do a second coat, but we'll see how we go. And in my case right here, definitely will need to do a second coat if I find that the red is mixing with the white that I had done on here. So remember I did this stencil and I used the Merry and I did it in white. I haven't had a chance to wash my stencil. So don't do as I do as I say, and wash your stencil in between these if you're going to do this. It's not looking too bad, but I may wash it later. But during the live, that doesn't make sense for me to go and wash my stencil while you're all sitting there waiting patiently for me to do some more things. So offloading, again, make sure it's all offloaded as much as you can, and just a little bit of, I'm doing more pouncing than swirling because I don't want that white to all mix into the red and create a pink look. But I think it's red enough. I can always go over it with a second coat later. So there we go. There's our Merry Christmas using layers of the transfers there underneath. So I'll give you a good look at that. So we are about to pick some winners today. Essential Stencil is going to pick our winners for today's live. Gosh, I have gone so long today. That transferring does take a little while, doesn't it, when you're trying to layer all the little bits and pieces. So here's what we've worked on today, and I'm going to look really quickly for our winners of our lives today. Thank you so much for hanging around, guys. And let me pop you on so we can see your face. And joining me today. I really appreciate you joining me today, and we are going to have some winners, but right now I just wanted to show you what we worked on today. So these are just 2 ordinary plywood boards that I got from a craft shop. If you missed the beginning of our live, I showed you how to use these stencils for the lights decorations to create that kind of a look, and you could even add some extra little white dots around for more sprinkles or more snow. And we've also got this one where we used the transfers to do layers and layers. So our winners today are, I did see them come up. We have got Elisa, I hope I've said your name correctly. Elisa, Trisha, and I've got to click the see more button to see them all, and Anne. Elisa, Trisha, and Anne. Did I remember that correctly? Congratulations, and you have won some Essential Stencil prizes. They've got all the details there and have tagged you there. So if you missed any of this today, please go back and have a look and have a listen. If you're doing transfers later on in the week and you can't remember how we did that, please just come back to the video and check it out, and we'll show you how you can do that. So jump on there, use my code IRestoreStuff for 10% off anything in the Essential Stencil store. I'd love you to do that. Join the Stencil of the Month Club if you want to get a hold of Melissa's amazing design that's for December. That's available now. So you can use my code IRestoreStuff and get 50% off your very first month in the Stencil of the Month Club. So that's a lot of fun. If you're in the club, I'll post some pictures in our club group on the Facebook group later on. So thank you so much again for watching today, guys, and I will see you next week with another fun live. It's Thanksgiving next week, so it'll be Thursday here for me, Wednesday night for you guys. But because we don't really have Thanksgiving here in Australia, everyone's still working, I'm going to be doing a Thanksgiving live with y'all. So I'm looking forward to it. Bye.